Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Turnip Entrepreneurship session. Really great to have you all. Uh, so, this lecture is like an introduction or a sample to my 6-week entrepreneurship development program that starts next week on Monday. So there'll be 12 live lectures starting Monday, and it's a 40-hour certificate series basically. And this is like an introduction or a sample lecture, which we are going to cover a very important entrepreneurship concept. So details of the whole program is in the link in the description, but you can check it out later because right now I am going to start the session. And at the end of the lecture, anyways, I'm going to tell you a lot more about the program. So welcome again, everybody. Good evening. I originally thought to do this lecture on Google Meet, but Google Meet has a capacity of 250 attendees, and yeah, we had more than 1,000 registrations for this program. So really thanks to all of you for such a great response, and that's why I thought that I would do a live streaming. So please let me know in the chat that you are able to hear me and you're able to see me, so that it gives me a good feedback, and we can keep this whole session very interactive. Great, Yogender Chauhan. Thank you. Dr. Jyoti Agarwal, good evening. Ranjan Biswas, amazing to have you all. Okay, Jose Hernandez, uh, KH Saktivel, Bill Elliott, really great to have you. Great. I'm happy to see a very lively chat. Dr. Shinu, Tushar Sawant, Someshwar Rao, Ishwar Gupta. Great. So if you're attending my session for the first time, I am Rahul Kapoor. I am the founder of Turnip Innovations. I've been running Turnip Innovations for 5 years. In 2021, our first application, which was a big data patent analytics application, it was acquired by a UK firm. And since then, we are focusing completely in online education related to innovation, intellectual property, and entrepreneurship. So this is part of our, greater vision to promote IPR and innovation and entrepreneurship related content in a very refreshingly hands-on way, and also to make it accessible to pretty much anybody who wants to join. So yeah, let me pull up my slides, and we are going to soon start the session. But before we start, I have one question from the audience so that we can have real connection. Why should you study entrepreneurship? Why is there so much push? The government is pushing that institutes to have entrepreneurship related sessions. So why do you think is important that you learn about entrepreneurship or be exposed to fundamental startup concepts? So please write on the chat. I'm going to continue the session, and as the responses keep coming, I'm going to look at the chat and I'm going to answer your questions. So yeah, that's the question. Why is entrepreneurship, education, and learning important? So yeah, you can see AIDA model. This is the topic of this lecture. It's a very famous sales and marketing model, and very few people know about it. And even the people who actually know about it, they probably just know the acronym of the AIDA model. They probably know what it stands for. But to really understand it in a contextual way, in a very practical way, this is the goal of this session, to really understand a fundamental concept of sales and marketing, which is going to be, I thought, very valuable for you, which you probably are going to like. That's why I chose this particular topic for this today's introduction session. Sukhdeep Binhas, thank you for the answer. Dr. Jyoti Agarwal, thank you. Because jobs are less and we need people to create new jobs. Sukhdeep Binhas, need of the hour. Thank you. Thank you. That's very much the sentiment. Even for me, from my side, that is the sentiment. Because what I think is that in today's time, the economy and the future is the most uncertain ever. We should not take anything for granted. Okay, a recession can hit. There can be redundancies in the job due to technologies like AI. So a lot of factors can go against you, so we should not take anything for granted. The time when people used to have a job and stay there for 20 to 40 years, that is absolutely not going to be like how it's going to be in the future. So this is why being you know upskilling yourself and being ready for any eventuality is something that can give you self confidence, something that can give you really confidence that even if there's a economic downturn, there's a recession, there's layoffs, you can still thrive and you can still live a confident life. Add value to society. There are so much many problems. So KH Saktivel, great. Add value to society. Again, many people enter entrepreneurship thinking about funding and thinking about the amount of money they will make, but in reality it is about solving problems, and there are no shortages of problems. Okay, you and I, we are a developing country. Okay, we have a huge population. We are now the number one populous country in the world. So there are no shortage of problems. You just need to look around, and there are so many problems that need to be solved. That's one very important reason why entrepreneurship education is important. Economic development, yes, that is why there's so much push from the government. Anita Rolla, thank you. That is why the government is pushing so much, right? They're pushing the institutes that they're pushing the academic institutes that they have to implement entrepreneurship within their curriculum. So that's the reason why government is pushing, because they know that innovation that happens now, entrepreneurship, people who take up entrepreneurship now are going to be responsible for the future economic growth and future jobs that will be needed. Mukularian, to know pros and cons related to it when it is the right time to start. Yeah, yeah. Actually, you should know. If you don't know it, you don't know whether it's the right time to start. So many people don't become entrepreneurs actually because they are not looking at it as an option. Okay, they just know, they've seen their peers, they're seeing their friends, all of them land jobs after college and they get placements. So that's also one reason why you simply don't consider it as. So if you know it, if you are exposed to some concepts, you might be in a good position. When it's the right time to start, you might be ready. Scope of services is being limited day by day in government sector, so entrepreneurship is alternative to livelihood. Ranjan Biswas, thank you. Thank you. Absolutely, sir. What a great way to articulate this thing. So the scope is getting shrink. The scope is shrinking. Okay, for government jobs and for many other industries. So it is going to be parallel. So basically, the aim of the government is to make entrepreneurship as as valuable as placements. Okay, so that they are at par. So people are not considering placements to be the best alternative, but they are taking entrepreneurship as a reasonable alternative to earn a livelihood. Entrepreneurship course to reduce the risk. Yeah, that's the thing we discussed earlier, right? M. Sumeshwar Rao, that it is there. It is there so that when you are ready, you should have the knowledge. Good evening, Purushottam sir. Thank you for joining the session. So good evening. I'm seeing that many people are writing good evening now. So great. I am glad that we discussed some of the reasons why we are here and why we are, learning about entrepreneurship. So there are many other things also. Some people are just, natural entrepreneurs. They have instinct for entrepreneurship. So simply sometimes a job may not be for you, so you might it's a good idea to be exposed to fundamental startup concepts so that you can consider it as an actual career. All right, so now we'll start the session. I think we are already 10 minutes into the session, so great to have you all here. uh, all right, so this is about me. I already told you a bit in the beginning. So I'm running Turnip Innovations for about 5 years, and also this content that I've created, it's very much from my own journey. It's something that I have grown learning, and and hence I have curated the content in a very practical way. From almost everything is from personal experience. So that's why I'm very passionate about all the things that I'm going to talk about today. All right. So about Turnip Innovations, we are into intellectual property and we are into big data. These are two of our strengths. And our mission is to reach to 5 crore young academic scholars and professionals in India. And basically to spread awareness, because we think that innovation, when you target it at a very macro level, you can create one of the biggest impact. And that is what we have set out to achieve. And also, we are looking at upskilling in modern fields like big data, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and so on. All right. So, can you write on the chat who has heard about the AIDA model before? So, we are going to discuss about AIDA model. So, can you please write on the chat who has heard about the AIDA model? Who knows what AIDA model is? Because that is the topic of this session. This is the introduction session. Dr. Shinu, the streaming is actually at 1080 pixels. So we are streaming at high definition. So please look at the settings within your YouTube, panel. Look at the settings and change the resolution to 1080. So I hope that it will solve the problem for you. Not yet, not yet. Okay, Harshit, great. Okay, Bhavan, you probably knew about the AIDA model. It's actually one of the most common, one of the oldest, even more than 100 years old, this model for fundamental sales and marketing. If you want to really understand how sales happens, it is also called the sales funnel, because now you can see the AIDA, AIDA, is shaped in the form of a funnel, right? It's a funnel. It's wide at the top, and at the bottom it's narrow. So this is called the AIDA model. And we are going to dissect it and we are going to learn about it today. It is also called the buyer's journey. Some people also call it the buyer's journey. And yeah, fundamentally, it's called the AIDA model, AIDA. So A stands for awareness. Right at the top, it's awareness. First, people have to know about your product, right, before they can buy it. Then there is an interest. So interest is generated, or the customer takes some interest to know more about the products and services, to get to know more about the features and the benefits. And then they're at a decision stage, when they have to really evaluate different options. And really, they're at a stage where, it's like, shall we go ahead with the product or not? And that's, also things start to get very tricky when people, so this is like you're going down the funnel. The customer is actually going down the funnel. So first this comes the awareness. They first get to know about it. Then they take some interest. Then they have to decide. And finally is the action phase. So this is where, a lot of sales is actually lost also. So you need very good salespeople to actually, close deals. So that is where the bottom of the funnel comes, the decision and the action part, which is the most important part, because eventually you want to do the sales and you want to, get money in the bank. So this is the AIDA model. I hope that it's fairly clear, the acronym and what it stands for. I can see that most people here did not know about it. And I'm glad that like many of you now know about it. I actually interview a lot of candidates, even a lot of MBA students. And after finishing 2 years of MBA, many people don't know about what AIDA model is. So it's a very good thing to know, and you will see that it also applies to something outside entrepreneurship. It applies to many areas of your life. This AIDA model. So let's break it down. The first stage is actually the awareness stage. Okay, it's something like this. If you have a great product and nobody knows about it, what is the benefit of that? There is no benefit of having a product or a really good offer. Suppose you have opened a new coffee shop and you have a 50% off or a 1+1 kind of a deal that you are giving out, but people in the city, they just simply don't know that you're giving such a deal. Okay, so what's the point of having a good product or a good offer when simply people don't know about you? And there's a saying that most people are not buying from you, not because that your products are bad, but most people are not buying from you simply because they just don't know about you. And that is why if you see something like IPL, you know, they are creating awareness. Okay, a lot of new products are coming, and they are spending so much money. They're giving ads basically after every over. The same ads, you know, they're running it because they are trying to make you aware. The first stage in the buyer's journey is happening at that point. In the field of content marketing, which is a very growing form of marketing with the advent of digital media, the A of awareness is also called attention stage. So this is where you grab the attention of your audience. Okay, so typical examples of this is this kind of is television ads. You can even see billboards on highways. So any kind of outreach program where you are basically letting people know that you are providing X and Y services, or you are providing X and Y products. Okay, so in content marketing, if I give an example of a content marketing, what like a bit more context, what is awareness? It is a subject line of an email. It is, you see it the first, right? When before you open an email, you see the subject line. And if the subject line is bad, sometimes actually you don't open it. You can just delete it or archive the email. So that's the awareness part or the attention part. Imagine most of the people actually click on YouTube videos because they see an attractive thumbnail. Okay, so the thumbnail of a YouTube video is the top of the funnel. It's the eye, is the attention stage where you are really grabbing the eyeballs and you are really trying to get the user to click on a YouTube video. So that's another example of the attention stage. Or headline of a newspaper ad. Do you ever like read a newspaper article, or do you ever read a newspaper ad without reading the headline? It's almost impossible that you start reading what's written in the ad before you start reading the headline. So headline always comes first, and that is the attention stage of content marketing. So good evening to everyone who have joined. Parinita Malhotra, I've studied this in advertising. Absolutely. It's one of the most bread and butter of all advertisers. In fact, I have one example from one of the great advertisers of all time, David Ogilvy. And I have an example of how AIDA model can also be applied in, giving an ad basically. All right, moving on from awareness, I have one very short exercise. Okay, I don't want it to be such that I keep speaking and you keep listening. So the kind of pedagogy of when I speak and you listen, it doesn't work nowadays. Okay, nowadays the ideal pedagogy is you ask and you do. Okay, and I'm here to just, for example, guide you. So I want you to write on the chat. I want you to quickly open a new Google Chrome tab, a new tab in your browser, and search with respect to sales funnel, what is tofu, mofu, and bofu. Okay, so just write on the chat whatever you find. What is the full form of tofu, mofu, bofu? And the second question is, what is a lead magnet? Okay, I'm going to give you like a couple of minutes to do this. Good evening, everyone. A lot of you joining now, and now we have actually 100 live audience. So quite incredible. Okay, we are not a really big YouTube channel, and to see 100 people live, that's great. That's great. I've seen many YouTube channels having million subscribers, and they are having maybe 1,000 at most. Live stream visitors. So please write on the chat what you found regarding the sales funnel, uh, tofu, mofu, and bofu. And what is a lead magnet? What is exactly a lead magnet? Because I'm going to be giving you more context about it. Harshit Saini, great. Absolutely great. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. And we are going to see the importance of your clients in which part of the funnel they are, how important that is in today's lecture, basically. So Harshit Saini, thank you. You're the first one I can see in the chat. If someone can say about the lead magnet. Lead magnet. So what is a lead magnet? Have you heard about what is a lead magnet? Have you come across this word before? Bottom of the funnel, middle of the funnel, Mukul Aryan, perfect. Top of the funnel. And I'll just show you the funnel again. So this is the AIDA model, right? So the top of the funnel is basically the awareness stage, where people are just getting to know about your product. Okay, the middle of the funnel is actually the I and D phase, where people are trying to get to know a bit more about the product. They're even trying to evaluate the alternatives. Okay, in Amazon, when you're buying a product, you frequently compare it with other products, right? So that's where the client is really interested in buying. Okay, but they are first finding out uh, some other alternative. That's the middle of the funnel. And at the bottom of the funnel comes the closing part, the action and the decision. These are the most important. The bottom of the funnel is the most important part of the sales life cycle, because that is where uh, you can lose a customer, and that is where the actual money is going to come in your bank account. uh, Great. I hope you understand. It's a funnel, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. And Rahul Chaudhary, thank you. I think that you're the first one, or maybe Harshit again was the first. Special deal offered. It's a free asset. Yes, exactly. So Rahul Chaudhary, you're right. A lead magnet is a free asset or a special deal offered to customers in exchange for their contact details. It can be a discount code, a webinar. I am glad you mentioned a webinar, because this webinar, if you really think about it, it's a lead magnet. Okay, I'm giving you a sample of my entrepreneurship program. I'm trying to give you that, okay, this is how my entrepreneurship program will look like. Okay, this is so all of you over here, you are already aware of this offering, because you signed up for this session. You entered your email address, you got an email from us, and you clicked on the link. So we know that you're aware. Okay, so you are not in the top of the funnel, you are in the interest stage. And that's what my next slide is, the interest phase, the hook. And to give you context, lead magnet or the interest phase, this webinar is meant to be the interest phase, because as you know, I'm starting my 6-week entrepreneurship program next week. It's a paid 6-week course, and I'm trying to give you a sample of what my content looks like. So what are the other types of lead magnet? If you think about it, lead magnets can be so many. If you see, download an ebook, okay, a free trial. A lot of websites you go to where they give you an offer for a 14-day free trial. That's called a lead magnet. So it is something that attracts a lead. A lead is what? A person who might be interested in your products, right? A sample or a trial subscription. So great. I can see so many of you are writing the correct answer, and you're writing. Okay, I know that many of you probably know it and probably have searched online, but you are probably too shy to write on the chat. But what I would say is that I cannot see you. So if you let me know via chat that you are actually searching it and you are really engaged, it's also motivation for me to understand that yes, you're liking the content and you're really engaged, and I'm motivated also to provide some more content. So yeah, so it's the hook. Okay, it's the opening sentence of an email. Okay, so now you had a very catchy email subject line, for example. Okay, now you click on the email and you open it, and the first sentence is not very interesting for you. Would you read the rest of the email? Probably not. Okay, probably not, because this is where you have to capture the interest of your customer. Okay, this is where you're pushing the customer down of the funnel. Okay, your customer is no longer in the top of the funnel. They've slowly migrated to the middle of the funnel, where you have an opportunity to tell a bit more about your products and services, just like this particular webinar. And in content marketing, actually, the interest part is the first 3 seconds of a YouTube video. Actually, according to some research, many people actually just watched first 3 seconds of a YouTube video to decide whether they want to watch further or not. So you would have seen in many YouTube videos, actually, in the first 3 seconds, they actually give you a glimpse of what is about to come. They give you shortcuts of the things that you're going to see in the rest of the webinar or the rest of the video. Why do they do that? because they want to hook you. Okay, that's the hook, and they want to make sure that you watch till the end of the YouTube video, because there's also incentive. If you watch the entire YouTube video, actually YouTube gives you more points, or the creators actually get more money. So yeah, a product demo. Okay, you can give a product demo to really make people understand about the benefits, about the features of your product. So here you need good storytelling, because you have to make sure that the prospect is excited to get to know more. Okay, that is the part, that is the job of the interest part of the sales funnel. Okay, likely when people have just come get to know you, you probably cannot close the sale. Okay, because they still have to get to know you a bit more, they still have to evaluate the features and benefits. So you cannot go to the action phase immediately. Okay, there is a life cycle, and it's just natural. Imagine, a stranger comes to you and says that let's be friends. It's going to be very awkward for you, right? Because you've just got to know that person, and they're asking for something that is, something quite like it requires a lot of commitment. Okay, so that's going to be awkward, right? And similarly over here, it's going to be like that. So if you skip the interest phase, you cannot just migrate to the action phase, because that's going to be a bit weird, that you just got to know someone, and now you're asking for a sale. So usually that doesn't happen, but if it happens, great, but usually that doesn't happen. uh, all right, I hope that in the interest phase is interesting for you, and you got to get some understanding of how the customer is being pushed down the sales funnel. So earlier we were in the awareness phase, and now we are in the interest phase. So let's move on. Let's move to the decision phase. Okay, this is where you have to do further persuasive storytelling. This is where you want to tell your customers, your prospective customers, that how their dreams can come true, how their real problems can get solved, how their frustrations can be overcome. So there are many ways to do it. Okay, you can showcase the benefits and the features of your products. You can showcase how inferior other solutions are, and how you are really struggling. For example, if someone tells you that um, you know that you don't have to log into IRCTC for booking a train ticket. Okay, and they highlight, how much frustrating it is, that how much frustration you have to go through when you're booking a ticket via IRCTC, and then they show you a way where you can do it like in 3 clicks, for example. Would you feel that, really this solves my problem and I want to try that? You really would feel that, because I have given you, I've juxtaposed two important things: the amount of frustration that you are having in IRCTC, and the amount of, smooth and pleasurable experience you can have in just 3 clicks, doing the same kind of booking. So this is where, you can excite your audience into the decision phase. Okay, you might also see that, airlines, they usually don't sell a ticket to Goa. Okay, they sell a vacation to Goa, and it means so much more than a ticket. So this is more like, you showcase the benefits rather than you showcase the features. Okay, so here you have to make sure that you are fulfilling the need of the customer. You have to make sure that that you are solving a problem for the customer. Okay, so you can see the funnel is getting narrow, right? Why is it getting narrow? Because a lot of people are aware of what you do, but maybe they're not interested in your products and solutions. When you watch an IPL ad, are all products relevant for you? Absolutely not. So you just are aware that a certain, say, mutual fund sahihai.com or something other, some policybazaar.com might be there. But you are probably not interested at that time. So you are not going to go down the funnel. That is why it's very wide at the top. People keep dropping out, and the people who are relevant, they keep going down the funnel. So I hope it's clear. To increase GDP of the country. Yes, Mamta Raut, I think that you are not following it live. You are probably following something earlier I said. But I'm so glad that still I'm getting answers for the bottom of the funnel, top of the funnel. So important concept, and yet, you know. So yeah, you can show your products extraordinary features, how much better they are, how much better they are against inferior solutions. This is where you can really make a prospect believe that their problems can be solved, their dreams can be fulfilled. Let's move on to the final part of the AIDA model, which is the action phase. Okay, asking the prospect for a sale or taking the next steps in the sales life cycle, whatever it is. So CTA is one of the most important things in the action phase. Okay, can anyone mention any examples of a CTA? So call to action. So can anyone give one or two examples on the chat? What does a call to action look like? Sure, the full form is given here. CTA is basically call to action. So can anyone give an example? You see it every day. Okay, everybody, you see CTA everywhere. Okay, but we don't. Book now. Excellent, Yogesh Mankar. Emergency action. You're right, Harshit Saini. Book now. Register now. Click here to. So even when you signed up for the email for this entrepreneurship session, there was a CTA. There was a call to action where it said that click here to register for the session free of charge, for example. So that is called call to action, where I'm and you have to be very specific with call to action. You cannot have, some call to action which is something like, uh, something that is very weak, and it is just explaining that, it should have a verb, it should have certain action, that book now, register now. So all these have a verb. uh, Click here to download, live now, download now. I'm so glad to see all these comments in the chat. I think the audience, many people in the audience, they really know about the sales funnel and the things that I'm talking about. So that's great. And can anyone say what is the biggest driver of action when it comes to, the bottom of the funnel? What is the biggest driver? A lot of people add. Has this ever happened to anyone, that you add certain things in a cart online? Say in Amazon, you add certain products to cart, and then you just abandon the cart. You just decide at the last moment that maybe you don't want to buy right now. Yes, we are saying buy now, download now. Absolutely. So often it happens. Click here. Exactly. So often it happens that you add things to a cart and you don't buy them. Even in a supermarket, you take so many products in your cart. You maybe go for clothes shopping, you try on certain items, you're at the verge of buying, but at the last moment certain doubt comes to your mind that maybe you don't need it, or maybe, there's a slight problem with the fitting, or whatever it is, you don't end up taking the action. Apart from the heading, Mahesh Kumar, I suggest to look at your YouTube settings and switch to full HD, because we are streaming in full HD. So you should actually receive full HD. So just go to YouTube settings and improve your resolution. It should be fine. So any answer to my question? So what is the biggest driver of action when it comes to, the bottom of the funnel? Suppose you are shopping on Amazon. What is the biggest driver that will make you click the buy button? Or even if you are shopping, say in a supermarket or in a departmental store, anywhere, shopping anywhere basically, what is the biggest driver of action? Actually, it is written in the chat, in the slide itself. So but I want to make a deal out of it. I want to emphasize it in a real important way. It is the biggest driver of human action. Great, Mahesh, I'm glad your resolution is fixed. Yeah, it happens. YouTube just simply uh, gives you lower resolution by default, so that's not good. So yeah, any answers? What is the biggest driver of action in the bottom of the funnel? Urgency. Great. I'm so glad. Kalpesh and Anita, your answers are great. Urgency. It's the most important things. Okay, offer ends at 23:59 hours today. Okay, limited time sale. Okay, and airline tickets, hotel rooms, they do it the best. Okay, you must have booked a hotel and it says only 2 rooms left at this price. Okay, only 2 seats left at this for this flight, when you book a flight ticket. And it really works, right? We are really scared that the flight tickets price is going to increase. That's why, we take action immediately. Almost everyone, the way airline people, this really scare you. They really scare you by saying that only 2 tickets are left at this price. And hotel bookings also have, other ways of creating urgency. And FOMO, it's also called FOMO. FOMO is fear of missing out. Naresh Sachdev, great, thank you. I was about to say that fear of missing out. If you don't take it now, you are going to miss out. And big billion sales, yeah, they are limited times, right? Only one day every year. For example, Big Bazaar had this on 26th of January, and even in Black Friday sale back in the United States, you only have one weekend to buy all the stuff. So that really drives action. Even like this webinar, right? It's happening at 7 p.m. Okay, and you will get the registration link at 6 p.m. You have to take action, right? But if it was not happening at 7 p.m., it was happening tomorrow, you might have considered that, hey, maybe I have some time before I can register it. So all these things happen because of time limit. Even booking.com has this feature where it says 3 people are looking at this property right now, and that creates FOMO, fear of missing out. It's very natural human tendency that if someone else is about to buy it, you want to beat them. Even in a supermarket it happens. If you have your eye on a product and someone else touches that product, you have this feeling that you must buy it because it might, you might end up not, that product might end up getting sold. How we can become a brand, Harshit Saini? Uh, it's a discussion probably we can have later. But yeah, it's very broad question and a very good question also. So, but yeah, right now I don't think it aligns with what we are discussing. So, uh, so yeah, we will discuss it in the entrepreneurship development program. So yeah, I hope that I've been able to tell you the importance of this action phase, because a lot of sales is lost. In fact, even when clients agree, even when you talk about B2B, service oriented sales which have really big ticket size. I'm not talking about FMCG products like soap and shampoo and all these things. I'm talking about like really big ticket sales in the service industry, in the B2B format. Uh, Up to 33%. That means 1 out of 3 sales is lost in the action phase. Okay, so you've worked very hard in in the awareness part, in the interest part, in the decision part, but it hurts really bad when you actually lose a sale in the action part. So the last moment, the client backs out. I've had I was into B2B sales, selling our software subscriptions, yearly subscriptions of our software. And some people, even we shook hands, we agreed to the deal, and they still backed out. Okay, because it happens, because at the last moment, the defense mechanism kicks up. And there's a certain term for that. It's called buyer's remorse. Actually, this buyer's remorse happens when exactly after you've bought a certain product. You might have experienced this in the supermarket when you buy a certain set of clothes. Okay, and after you've made the payment, and you are going back home, that's when it hits you that maybe you did the wrong thing. Maybe that's called buyer's remorse. You feel really bad that you probably should not have taken the decision, but you have taken a decision. Everyone faces it, by the way, buyer's remorse. Even Elon Musk faces buyer's remorse. We saw that with the Twitter sale, right? He agreed to buy Twitter, and then he backed out, because that's where the action phase is happening, and that's where the defense mechanism kicks in the customer. And so Elon Musk even tried to back out from the Twitter deal, but the law did not allow him to do it. So he had to buy it eventually. But just saying that buyer's remorse is very common. Everyone of us face it. Freemote. It's not Freemote. It's remorse. The word is remorse. I'll write it in the chat. Remorse means basically a regret. Remorse with one E, not two E's. Buyer's remorse. Love the expression, Neera. That's a real expression in marketing jargon, which people, when they buy a certain product, that's what they feel. When and that's also, if the buyer's remorse kicks in before the payment is made, you can be sure that the cart is going to be abandoned. You can be sure that the customer is going to back out at the last one. And that's where the salesperson has to be the most skilled. Actually, if you see the big organizations, salespeople who are in the decision and action phase, they are more experienced. They are, they are more highly paid because they know how to deal with emotions of people and certain, stop people from, backing out. So yeah, I'm happy to see that I'm getting such an engaged audience. So I hope that everything makes is logical so far. Everything is going in a systematic way. That there's a top of the funnel where people get to know about you, and there's a middle of the funnel where people evaluate you. They get to know about your products and features and benefits. And then there's the bottom of the funnel, which is the action phase, where you have to drive action. You have to finally get the customer to actually pay you for your goods and services. So I'm going to give you an example of in actually marketing. This advertisement is considered to be one of the greatest ads of all time. This was 1959. David Ogilvy, who's considered to be one of the greatest marketers, one of the greatest advertisers, and he created this advertisement which really boosted the sales of Rolls-Royce. So if you see this advertisement, you can actually break it down into the AIDA model. Okay, the first thing, in content marketing also this happens even today. People follow this framework to write content, to write blogs, to write emails, to create YouTube videos. So all kinds of content you write, you can actually follow the AIDA framework, which is this attention, interest, desire, action. So the first thing is attention. You see a beautiful car. So if I'm sure that back in the 70s or the 60s, if you saw this car, you would probably feel that it's really beautiful and you would like to have it. And that's the attention part, where really you are attracted to the beauty of a certain object. Okay, and then comes the interest, the hook. Okay, what makes Rolls-Royce the best car in the world? Okay, basically they want to tell you more. They want to basically they want you to learn more about the car. Really, what is it that makes Rolls-Royce the best car in the world? Actually, you probably cannot see it in the slide, but I recommend that you search for this ad on Google, okay, and you read this text. It's the most beautiful advertisement copy that you would read. It describes the features of the cars in such a beautiful way uh, that that you will be astonished that how the person has even written technical stuff about the car in such a friendly way, where even a normal person can read technical details, how many horsepower does the engine have, and also feel as if it was non-technical. So I would suggest that in your own time, just open a browser window and check out for this ad. So this is how the features and benefits. It's one of the most lovely copies of ads written. And at the end of the advertisement, the last paragraph, okay, it says, to for the rewarding experience of driving or doing a test drive on a Rolls Royce, contact your local dealer. Okay, they've given the numbers or the phone numbers of certain dealers. So there's a proper call to action at the end. They are not just saying about the features and benefits, but they are also even saying that for the rewarding experience of doing a test drive of a Rolls Royce, contact a local dealer. So I wanted to show you this ad because I have a book actually in my background. You can see this David Ogilvy's book is there. I think the name of the book is Ogilvy on Advertising. So if you are really interested in sales and marketing, I highly recommend that you buy the book Ogilvy on Advertising. So it's a great entrepreneurship, marketing, and sales book. I highly recommend it. All right. Let's summarize. We saw the AIDA model. Okay, awareness, interest, decision, and action. It's like a funnel. At the top, people are getting to know you. In the middle, they are trying to evaluate you. They are trying to, compare you with other options. They are learning about features and benefits. They're learning whether your product really solves their problem. And finally comes the action stage, where actually making the purchase, and your sales counter is actually buzzing. And you can see here, top of the funnel is the awareness phase, middle of the funnel is the interest and decision phase, and the bottom of the funnel is the action phase. My audio is breaking. Is it the same for everyone, Yogesh? So hopefully not. But yeah, let's continue. I have one, question for all of you. Actually, we can do a small quiz before we end the session. There is latency in audio. Uh, Latency for whom? For me or for you? In the middle, it is breaking. All right. All right. Okay, if it's clear then. Okay, anyways, you can see on the screen, there's one question. Okay, Facebook ads are considered top of the funnel. Now, by now, I hope you know what is top of the funnel. Awareness phase, while Google ads are considered middle of the funnel, interest phase. Can anyone say why? It's a bit difficult question, but I would love to hear it from you. I don't want to give the answer. I would be really glad if you can answer on the chat why Facebook ads are considered top of the funnel, awareness phase, while Google ads are considered middle of the funnel, interest phase. Yeah, I'll wait like 30 seconds, and more consumers are on Google. That's not the correct answer, Harshit. Uh, Probably more consumers are on Google, but that's not the reason why it's more searches are there in Google. It's not about more. Yogesh Mankar, I think you've really hit the right answer. Because people are already seeking the info on Google. They are actually already interested in the products or service because there's a search intent. Why would you search for a certain product, okay, if you're not interested in it, right? So Facebook ads is something, that say you are lying on your bed or your sofa and you're just scrolling through your timeline and you see an ad. Okay, you're not interested in that ad. You're not actively looking or searching for that ad, but you just came across it, and that is why it is top of the funnel. You're just making a customer aware of that you exist. But Google ads, which are the search ads, because Google also had the extended partner network ads, not those ads, but the ones which are triggering based on your search, there is already a search intent. That is why it is a bit, lower down the funnel. It's not in the top of the funnel. Customer is already looking for a certain piece of information, and if they land on your page, you are more. That is why also Google ads, you would see they charge you higher pay per click. So per click on Google ad is going to be more because they are giving you leads which are more relevant than what Facebook is giving. Great. I think many people gave the right answer. Vijaya Velu. In Google, we have to search. Yes. And that makes all the difference. Okay. You are actively searching, looking for something. And then when you land on a search result, it, it's a whole different meaning than when you are passive. You are just scrolling through your timeline and you get an advertisement, and most people think that's annoying. Navneet Kumar, perfect. As video or posts, Facebook has more interaction. Well, Yogesh, if you join the program, we'll also discuss the digital marketing funnel. So, as a natural extension of the AIDA model, it's a sales funnel and a digital marketing funnel. And we will discuss the concept of CTR, click-through rates. And those are, important things where you can see just the ratio of clicks versus the ratio versus the impressions. So when you have more interactive media, your kind of video or these kind of things, you can try to get a higher click-through rate. So CTR can be higher. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you're getting good leads just because your CTR is higher. So yeah, there is one aspect of it where if you're getting a higher CTR, your ads are going to be more favorable and your costs are going to be lower. Looking for decision making, great. I'm happy that most of you are, most of you have understood what I'm trying to say. Top of the funnel versus middle of the funnel. All right, so quick quiz. Which of the following is not an example of a call to action? Okay, not an example. Okay, register now. Click here to download the ebook, sign up for the newsletter, free availability. So which of these is not a CTA? Or at least it's not a good CTA. So as soon as I get the first answer, I'll move to the next, move to the next question. Option D, Yogesh Mankar, excellent. Yeah, we are saying no, it's not C. Sign up is a call to action because it's a verb. It's directing you to do something. So a lot of people are mentioning C. C is incorrect. D is the correct answer. It is not a good example of a call to action. That's correct. Great, great. I'm uh, glad to have so much engagement with the simple quiz. Sainath, Ria Singh. Yeah, D is correct. Absolutely, everyone. Thank you. So let's move on. Next question. So don't worry about it. In AIDA model, action phase comes at top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, and none of the above. Yeah, there are going to be some people who will answer. Okay, Nandita, you are right. It's C. Actually, it mentions says in the quiz itself which one is correct. So bottom of the funnel, it's obvious. We just saw the AIDA model, right? Awareness, interest, decision, action. Action is at the bottom of the funnel. It's not A. Top of the funnel is incorrect. C is the correct answer. It's actually written on the slide itself. I think I forgot to replace the correct word. Uh, great, great. I think that everybody got the answer. So just to give you, you can see action is at the bottom of the funnel, right? Here at the bottom, you can see action. That's the BOFU. Okay, bottom of the funnel. All right, last question for the day, and then I'll tell you a bit more details about the entrepreneurship development program. Uh, let's see the last question. Which of the following is not a way to drive action? Okay, so suppose now your customer is in the action phase. Okay, they are in the decision phase. They are now having to take an action. They are at the verge of buying. Okay, but they might be having some final doubts whether your product is actually serving them or not. So which of the following is not a way to drive action? Yeah, some people are saying C, but I think C is fine. Okay, at the very last moment, when you create urgency or when you offer the last moment discount, that hey, if you buy now, we're going to give you a 10% discount. It works. And at the very last moment, if you say, hey, if you buy now, we're going to give you a free warranty, right? Say if you buy an electronics item, and at the last moment, they are saying that hey, you can get a free warranty with this service. That's good, right? It increases the chances that you are going to actually purchase the product. But if you pitch a different product in the last moment, in the bottom of the funnel, if you pitch a different product, then your game's over. Okay, then you've lost the sale. You're basically going to pitch a different product. Again, the evaluation phase and the interest and the decision phase will start. So yeah, you're likely not going to make a sale and you're likely not going to drive the action. So great, everyone. D is the correct answer. And I can see almost everyone has mentioned D. So amazing, amazing. Great, folks. Really pleasure to host you for almost a 1 hour session. So in the last 2 to 5 minutes, I'll answer some questions if you have on the chat. And I want to tell you about the 6-week entrepreneurship development program that starts next week on Monday, basically at 8 p.m. on Monday. And they're going to be 12 live lectures every Monday and Tuesday, 8 to 9 p.m., 1 hour session just like this. In total, they will get a 40-hour certificate, a professional certificate, which is shareable on LinkedIn. It is having a unique certificate ID. Turnip Innovations is a issuing organization in LinkedIn. So if you go to the licenses and the certification section of Turnip Innovations of LinkedIn, of your LinkedIn profile, you can search for Turnip Innovations as the issuing organization. So yeah, there'll be an expanded quiz, just like the one that you saw. You got a sample of the quiz also. There's an expanded 30-question quiz that you will have to take. and there'll be like lifetime access to the recordings, ebook. I've written an ebook on these concepts, and any future bonus content that I create, I'm continuously creating new content, and to all the EDP participants, I'm going to share it free of charge. And if you have an actual startup project, uh, you're starting to build a prototype or a minimum viable product, I am going to evaluate it personally, and we can also do a mentoring session for your startup. So the charge for the EDP is 899 until 10th of May. That is until Wednesday. So please register as soon as possible, because I'll increase the price to 1499 after 10th of May. And if you're a student or a PhD candidate, you can avail a 300 rupees cashback. The instructions are given in the payment page. You still have to pay 899, but once you send us a proof that you are a student, like a student ID, we will process a 300 rupees cashback. So then effectively you will pay 599 if you are a student. So if you want to do the 6-week entrepreneurship development program, I urge you to please register now. The link for registration is in the description of the YouTube video. Sir, there's no Vijaya Velu, there's no concession for faculty, because we think that students are eligible for concession, but faculty, they are, they are basically having a job, so they are earning, and we don't want to. And also the 899 price is very low for 1 hour of my time. Actually, if I were to do consulting, I'll charge 5,000 rupees minimum, if not 10,000 if it is like a physical presence. So if you think about 899 price for 12 hours of live lectures, it's a really good deal. So if you like the session, I think also I want you to think in this one way, that the amount of value you will get is basically unlimited. Okay, if you are learn even one or two concepts from your entrepreneurship course, the value of that is basically a lifetime value. So there is no money amount that you can use to gauge whether this is valuable or not. So likely you will have a multiple value factor on the money that you spend. Folks, if you have any questions, I am really thankful for you to pay attention and engage with me, interact with me for this session. So if you want, please register now for the entrepreneurship development program. We start next week, basically 2 hours every week for 6 weeks. And there'll be also assignments and some reading material in between the weeks. So yeah, the link, please send the register link on email. Mamta Raut ma'am, it will be sent via email after the session is over, but it is also there in the description of the YouTube video. And also actually Sanjukta from our team, she's also sharing the link on the chat. So does BTech students avail cashback? Absolutely, you can avail. If you're a student or a PhD candidate, you can avail the cashback. Absolutely. So you still have to pay 899, but as soon as you send us the student ID or any picture of a student ID, we will process within a few hours. We'll process the 300 rupees cashback. So thank you. I'm getting a lot of good comments about the good session. So great. Really happy to host you and share something that I really like. Sales and marketing is one of my favorite subjects, and I'm thinking of even launching a new course completely on sales and marketing. So thanks a lot, M. Someshwar Rao, sir, Vijaya Velu, ma'am, Riya Singh, Mamta Chaudhary, Harshit, Hemraj Kumawat. Thank you for increasing our concern. How to get free certificate for college? Yogesh, for this session, there is no certificate. Actually, I was expecting many of you to ask for certificate for this session. Actually, this session was just an introduction and a sample lecture. Amazing presentation. Thank you, Inpana Ravindranath, uh, Rabindra Mahato, Harshit Saini, okay, RIET College Jaipur. Really pleasure to host you. Huh? So I hope if you like the content, I hope you go for the EDP. Yes, Harshit, for this particular session, I'm afraid there is no certificate. So this was purely meant to give value and purely meant to give you a sample and an introduction to the course. Yogesh Gaurav, you are a genius. All right. Thank you. Uh, all right. Himraj, love from RIET Jaipur. Great to have you. Great to host you. Really pleasure. Uh, yeah, after the 6 week session. Yeah, Harshit. Yeah, of course. After the 6 week session is over, of course, you will get the certificate. Uh, good session. Bhargav, thank you. Thanks a lot. So, folks, with this, I'll say goodbye. Really pleasure to host you. I'm really happy myself to be able to talk about something that I really like. So, Rabindra Mahato, your question, last question I'll take. No, there is no charge. The only charge that is mentioned is the 899 rupees that for the whole 6 week program. So, in between that or even post that, I'm more than happy to connect. Tejas Patel, thank you. Sham Baba, thank you. Hashit, glad to see you again. Yeah, pleasure. So, uh, have a great evening, everyone. Looking forward to see you next week and in our upcoming Turnip events. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye bye.